Hi there. I was going to do a picture reading, but at the last minute I decided I wanted to do a recording, so here we are. We're sitting on the bed, so this could get a little wiggly when I shuffle. I've got a lot of decks pulled out and 3 choices. We're going to look at how to apply fair relating to this relationship. I know it's a reading that I do quite often, but I just have this feeling that I'm going to get a lot of these kind of built up for future use as we decide more and more that we want to relate in a fair manner that allows sovereignty for everybody and fairness. So through the transition, these are meant to just assist us. The picks are before you, and it's going to be pick 1, pick 2, and pick 3. So you want to take a deep breath. Remember that it's a general reading and it's for reflection purposes. So it's actually like pick a reflection. Which pile is going to reflect to you something that will be helpful for you to think about, to realize, to observe, to consider. Only take what is useful to you. If it's not useful to you, it's not meant for you, because this reading is meant to be useful. Okay. We're going to start with pick 1. Okay, pick 1, and I'm going to do something different here. I don't usually face the cards to you when I do it this way, but I'm going to now. I'm going to face the cards to you. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to pause while I shuffle and deal out the cards, just because I know it's going to be time consuming, because I've got a lot of decks here. So I'll be right back. It'll just be a moment for you. Hi, pick 1. We have a lot to go through here. Okay, let's start over here with, we're going to look at who the parties are in this relationship. So if I say that I'm describing you, which I'm going to start out by doing, and it sounds like the other party, then you can just reverse them, okay? So I said I would face these to you, and I also decided I'm not going to take reversals, just because it'll be too confusing for me while I'm reading the cards upside down as it is, and I don't want to just forget through halfway through the reading, so that's what I'm doing. Judgment. You are a fair person, loving, sort of maybe innocent in love, willing to have your heart opened, driven by passion. I think you definitely, like, you're a person with a crush, or a romantic nature and a willingness to venture into something new, something romantic, something maybe even to profess your love or to travel to somebody in order to let them know you care. Okay? So if it's not a romantic relationship, you know, it sounds like it could even pertain to a non-romantic relationship at this point. I think you're very fulfilled and happy. You have a happy family life and friends around you that you spend time celebrating at times, and you may have a dog, children, if not your children, children around you, or you enjoy playing, you enjoy being in the innocent state of childhood, willing to observe and learn and grow as you go. You're financially secure. you do know the meaning of abundance. Okay. You have a worldly view. You are interested in the win-win-win, making sure everybody gets what they need. You are someone who has had to close chapters in your life, part ways, say goodbyes. But you're willing to move forward through all of those losses that you have encountered. You may have fond memories of a male figure or a structure that you found security in or comfort in. You find comfort in a secure structure. Yeah, there's a lot of good fortune surrounding you. You are financially abundant and bringing towards what you would consider a win into your life. Okay, who is this other party? Someone you've known for a long time from your past. It's someone who's happy. You may have known them from childhood. Someone very loving, balanced, fair. So that's Six of Cups and King of Cups. Someone moving forward in their life with passion. Someone who is faced with a decision. Maybe juggling two people is what I just heard. Secure, financially secure. Okay. Maybe perhaps wealthy, a businessman, a leader. King of Pentacles. And they get the Ten of Cups. They're in a harmonious, blissful relationship state of divine love. They have their wish come true, their dream come true. They have it. At least that's what they want everyone to believe. They're willing to protect what they have. It's very precious to them. They have worked hard for it. And they've made tough decisions to get to where they are. You may have disagreements with this person, even though you're both very comfortable, it seems, in life. So let's see what the songs you got are. The songs for this relationship dynamic. Simply the best. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Okay, and what's love got to do with it? Isn't that funny that actually this Simply the Best, I have the Noah Reid version here, but it is a Tina Turner song, and the other song that came up is also a Tina Turner song. So that's interesting. If you look at Tina Turner, she had a career that was tangled up in a bad relationship, and she had to leave it, and all she took was like her name. What's love got to do with it? Some of these decisions being made in this relationship dynamic between these two people have nothing to do with love. But there does seem to be a recognition of one person towards the other as being very valuable, the best. So someone here is making what they feel is the best choice for them, which does not have to do with love. And I think, I mean, this person's got the Ten of Cups, while you have the Ten of Pentacles. So I feel like it's you that has made a decision not based on love, but I think it's because you're maybe just starting out in love matters, like maybe just not a lot of experience with them or something. The endings that you've had, you know, maybe like things are coming back into balance now, but there was maybe some loss in love, and that put you in this beginner stage or something like that. Because I feel like this other person is the more open to love person. But they are also the one willing to fight for and protect what they have. So this is interesting. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. I like that song, Simply the Best. I really love the Noah Reid version, which is from the television show Schitt's Creek. Yeah, if you've never seen Schitt's Creek, it's great. Okay, sextile. So some gritty activation in conjunct. Yeah, these two people just don't quite line up. There's probably great interest here. 3 weeks' time is a time period that's relevant to this. There's a trust issue, perhaps. And 1 day's time is also relevant. Juno, which is commitments, the good wife. Juno stayed committed even when Jupiter cheated on her. And unlike the mythologies where Hera was vengeful when Zeus cheated on her, Juno didn't do that kind of stuff. But then we have Aphrodite. See, Aphrodite it's the goddess of love and beauty, yes. But there was also a lust issue there with Aphrodite, and she was cursed to only be able to use love. So let me think about this for a sec. I just had to take some water. There's something here that you both came in to experience where it's like you're forced to work through something within yourself. It's trusting yourself, as a matter of fact. I say as a matter of fact, but of course this is just something to reflect on. It's just how I heard it. But you work on this something within yourself in order to cause the coming together to be possible. There's an inconjunct. It's a life lesson. It means in the birth chart, when we see an inconjunct, it means these energies don't work well together unless you work at it. But this is also something that you are meant to work at. That's the angle that represents. So, what is the nature of the relationship? Foolish, keep in touch, dedicated. Yeah, Juno is very dedicated, right? There is some sort of commitment that you have to each other. So perhaps you two are in a relationship that you are the one who keeps things more fun and free, and you take comfort in the structure that this other party provides for you. This comfort and this protection and this fighting, this quarrel kind of stuff that comes from the other party is part of what they need to work through. and they keep coming back to you, and it like activates the fight in them, and then they have to kind of look at it within themselves. And you're using this situation to venture into a new way of doing things, which very well could be fair relating. Maybe you've been considering ending things because of the fighting, but that is something that you would want to work through in yourself, because there is a dedication and a commitment here, and a lot of love. What needs to be said? I want to know more. Can I keep you? And keep it simple. Yeah, okay. So, like, say you guys are having a disagreement. It's saying, like, don't bring all the old past stuff into it. It's like, just what's in front of you. That's what you deal with. Keep it very simple. And, you know, make sure that you're communicating that you do want to stay together as you work through these things. And in order to love somebody, we give them the understanding. We give them the gift of understanding them, of wanting to understand them. So when you want to know more from your partner, then you are loving them. When you want to understand your partner, you are loving them. So, okay. Let's see what... Okay, so I have some answer cards here. So if you have one question that you want to ask, I'm going to reveal that in a moment. Let's look at the Starseed Oracle regarding this relationship. It's unknown. So the nature of this relationship is requiring you to drop your expectations of the outcome. Just focus in on the thing that you are having difficulty with. Give them the space to work through the thing they're having difficulty with, you know, and then it's going to be a leap of faith. It's like, if you are investing in this from that space, it's like you do it without expectations. That's the fair thing to do, right? So this is from the Starseed Oracle, meaning this would be like a higher view of this. And the original card that you chose, let's look at that for a moment. It's a pathway, and it's leading to water. Okay, it's a dock, I guess. And there's like a certain path to follow, right? You can't waver off. You've been kept in this secure space, right? You've enjoyed that secure space of having this person there to keep things secure. And at the end, though, there's like water, and it's like water is emotions. Water, it's like this whole ocean is here in this harbor. And so I think that what you're being led to is, you know, emotions within yourself that have not been explored yet. And that's why you don't know what you're going to find there, because you don't know yourself fully yet. Like, there's more to know about how you feel, frankly. It's interesting that I'm speaking this way. I don't usually say frankly and whatever else I said a minute ago there. That seemed out of character. Okay, so I said definitely, I think. Or factually, or what did I say? Alright, so let's look at the answer. So if you have a question, ask it now. Let's look at the answer to reflect on. This is the answer to reflect on. 3 is a crowd. Change the story. And celebration time. Okay, so we did talk about a lot of celebrations happening for you. And change the story is about, like, wherever you are telling the story about this person not living up to your expectations, perhaps you can change that story. And 3 is a crowd is, you know, I feel like these are different answers for different people in some ways. So if they all fit your situation, great, take them. But if they don't, then just take the one that suits the question you had, but 3 as a crowd is usually like there's someone else involved here that shouldn't be. And so maybe if you've been talking to a friend about this, or talking to a mother, I heard, or considering if you should date some other people, 3 as a crowd, it just means like that's too many for a relationship. You know, or you can't quite work this kind of out with a third party. Okay, so just some things to reflect on. Now let's see, how can you add fair relating to this relationship? Give them space. We did talk about that, like when this person's in that fight, you know, the anger means someone needs space. So, and whatever you feel in response to that, you take the space that you need to work through it within yourself. Let it go. Accept how you feel in the surrender. Let it go, knowing what is to expect, knowing what this commitment is going to bring forth, knowing what this time that you've dedicated to this situation and working through what you've found in yourself as a result of it. Just let yourself process through what you feel when you surrender it all, when you're like, okay, this is what it is. Now deal with your feelings. Do you love the totality of their existence or the fragments of them that cater to you? Yeah, that's a good one, because it's like that this moodiness is part of who they are. It's something that they're going through, and you have to decide if you're conditionally loving them or not. Do you love all of them, or do you just love them when they're agreeing with you? Because that is in the old relating paradigm, that was pretty common for us to do, is to just conditionally love people. And then we've got discern. Is the other being fair? Are they willing to be fair? So that's something that you have to decide. Like, you're doing this reading, you're interested in being fair, but is this other person? You know, of course, if you're in a time when you're giving them space, that's not the time to ask them. Maybe you don't need to ask them. Maybe you already know. Maybe if you ask them, they wouldn't be able to tell you. But that's something to reflect on too. Like, is the other being fair, and are they willing to be fair? You could ask them, are they willing to be fair? Are they willing to consider these things? And then you'll know. And if someone's not willing to be fair, then, you know, that leaves you to surrender and deal with how you feel about it. And give them space. If you know. Do you love the experiences you have with them? Is it self-loving to continue them? Is it self-loving to continue the experiences you are having with this person? So if there is a lot of fighting, maybe it's some sort of like sabotage or self-abuse to continue having these experiences when they're just not making you happy. It's not loving to yourself to be in them. Do you love the experiences that you're having? So, you know, sometimes we'll honor a commitment just because it's a commitment. And that could come into play when we look at what's love got to do with it. So, I feel like taking the space, giving them space, but also having the space for yourself to work through what's coming up with insecurities and things like that when you consider having to, you know, give this kind of freedom and space, and just like understanding whether your own time to understand whether you do love this person unconditionally or not. And if you're not, what can you do within yourself to just be a more unconditionally loving person towards yourself and them? Because you have to be in the equation. And is it self-loving to continue spending time or having experiences with them? So what needs to be said is, like, you want to know. You want to know more. You want to know if are they willing to be fair. You want to know if they have something to share with you that could help you understand them. want to know if you can keep them. You want to know. I mean, it's fair. It's fair to understand, like, to try to understand that for yourself. It's fair to ask that. Okay. I have a feeling like this is a long-standing commitment, and it might just be going through, like, just this time of transition. It's like two people, they're going to grow together or grow apart. And this is something that seems like Spirit is kind of saying from a bigger picture view. It's unknown what's going to happen here because everyone has free will, and the outcome is not yet known because these energies haven't been worked through within each party, and each party still has, like, this person was making a decision over here, and it seems like you might have some questions too. I think you are very much loving and fond of each other, and you kind of have it all. And I think it's just emotions that are being dealt with now that maybe hadn't been dealt with yet because there was a lot of celebration and fun and security and all those important things, very important things that were beneficial to learn about and be in and understand. And now there's just more stuff, so it's kind of just growth. And you've been keeping in touch, maybe, and not giving each other space. So, and actually giving each other space doesn't mean that you won't keep in touch. You know, maybe you would say, like, I'm just going to take some time to go read a book in the other room, or I'm going to go write in my journal for a while. Just to give space where it's needed and to work through what you have to work through. Okay, now I just want to mention that on a spiritual journey, what I've learned is there's definitely this space or this time where it's like getting good with the unknown. So this could be part of a spiritual journey where this relationship is just allowing you to get good with the unknown, right? Because where else is Spirit going to teach it to you? Like, this is a place where Spirit can teach, that you can learn, that you can free yourself from any of the restraints and restrictions of the limited thoughts that you may have been living by up to this point. And we did get that change the story card, so it's time to kind of go to a new chapter, and part of that may be for the purpose of learning to be good with the unknown and trusting. Like, do you have a higher power? Do you trust in God? Do you trust something else is orchestrating this for you? Do you trust that this is happening for you, not to you? Do you trust that as you do what's best for you, that life is going to reflect that for you? And I feel like you do I think you do live that way. So it's just you're at this space where growth is happening. Growth is happening, and you're looking at, is this something both parties are going to grow through or grow apart? And yeah. And we could ask all day long, and it's not going to tell us, because part of this is getting good with the unknown. Okay? And maybe if it's like where there was considerations on bringing in another party, it's like, well, that could complicate things, you know? And it's not saying not to have fun anymore. And, yeah. Whatever it is you're writing into the story with fear or doubt, you can change that. It doesn't have to be that way. You can go to, I expect the best for me. I know that I'm worthy and deserving of the best. I will give the best. And it's not up to me, you know, alone what happens. We drop our expectations in fair relating. Because we can't give with the expectation of receiving. We can only give from our overflow. So your goal is to fill up your own cup until it's overflowing. And I think you are willing to do that. Like, you're willing to give your cup. But now it's like, turn that in on yourself and fill it up for yourself. Do the romantic gestures for yourself. Follow that passion. Follow those little places of new ideas on ways to love. Do that for yourself. Really delve into your emotions and kind of be with them the way you would want to be with this person. Okay. I know I've kind of repeated myself a bit in this, and so I just want you to know that this reading is just for reflection purposes. Take what serves you and is helpful to you, and leave the rest. And if you do find it helpful, perhaps we'll see you again in another reading. Bye now. Hi, Pick 2. Okay, I'm going to pause you while I deal out the cards, and we'll be right back. Okay, Pick 2. I've dealt out all the cards. I've been a little bit tongue-tied so far in the first reading, so I'm going to first start out by describing you, and if it sounds like I'm actually describing the other party, you can just reverse them. And remember, this is for reflection purposes, so just take what's helpful to you. I'm going to put the cards facing you this time, and I'm not going to take reversals. Okay? Alright. Knight of Pentacles. You may be an entrepreneur. You could be just starting out or having already started out in your own business. You are somebody who's independent, self-driven, with a passion for life and goals, and a lot of skills. Some life experience under your belt. Very traditional in some ways, perhaps on a spiritual path. Maybe someone who's very grounded, down to earth, but also understanding of the spiritual realm and the unknown and the ether, and maybe someone who enjoys the constellations. And maybe there's a lot of mystery and unknown about that for you, about the spiritual. Think things have been changing for you, or you sense that there's about to be a change. When things do need to change, you are not afraid to make the changes. You are someone who is willing to look at your darkness and your light. Someone who knows the importance of balance, who finishes things that they start, who's going places. The Lovers, someone who is very balanced in your feminine and masculine side. Maybe a Gemini, might have a tattoo. You may have long hair or like long hair. I heard decided to grow your hair out recently. Seductive, but also like family oriented and happy and abundant and able to celebrate. You might have family life where you have children around you. If you don't have any at home, you're financially secure, and you may be the breadwinner in the family if you're the female. And you do feel like there's a lot of light surrounding you, and abundance and happiness, and something that's been carved out for you. You may have a pet. And someone willing to go after more as well. Okay. A soft, gentle leader, advisor, a helper. Maybe with good access to masculine energy. A provider, you're generous, you give gifts, you like the comforts, and you have wealth. Okay. Who is this other party? Yep, things are about to change for them too. You may be very well connected to them because through this change. You both got the wheel. They may be less happy about the changes or something. They may have retreated and taken a lot of time to themselves, soul searching, looking inside for some guidance. It's really withdrawn, cutting people off, and being really clear with their boundaries and what they want and expect, and able to be direct, independent, but fair and balanced too. Yeah, very fair and balanced. Considering the effects of what they do all along the way. So it's very measured what they're doing. Yeah, spending a lot of time meditating, contemplating, reevaluating. It may seem like they're apathetic, but they're really just they're drawn within themselves at this time. There's a lot of mystery around them right now. It might seem like they're hiding things, but they're actually discovering things. They're kind of looking into things at this time. It could be someone who's really easygoing, could be a stoner, or just like a well-dressed, dapper fella. Sorry. That card makes me laugh a little. And, okay, so they're also very balanced in their energy because we got matriarch here. So that was the easygoing fella, and then this is the matriarch. So maybe their feminine energy is a little stronger, and your masculine energy is a bit stronger. But they're really like, even in their feminine energy, it's really like structured and resourceful, and has a schedule and is organized. It's like homey and established. Okay. Now let's take a look at this relationship that you have. We got The Doors, Light My Fire, as a song. You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Alright, so there's maybe, anticipation between you. Like we did say that this seductive energy you have. And maybe, they are knowing that you're this kind of person who can kind of bring out the fire in them too. Because they're more easygoing, laid back, and structured and comfortable. Let's see, Stay With Me. Sam Smith. It's, Stay with me, 'cause you're all think that song's about staying together. Or it could be about, like, stay with me because I'm lonely. I can't quite remember, but you might want to look that up. Stay With Me by Sam Smith. Rich Girl, Daryl Hall and John Oates. We did say that you were wealthy. There's wealth on both sides. You're a rich girl. No, it don't matter anyway. You can rely on your old man's money. You can rely on the old man, honey. You're a bitch girl. Yeah, maybe there's some bitchiness going on. Okay, Twilight Zone. Yeah, and you guys don't know what you're entering into now because there's some change happening. Now I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. Yep. Okay. This is kind of cool, right? Because in spiritual endeavors like you are on, you are going to need to step into an unknown space. So seems to be the case. I'm going to just stop and take a sip of water, okay? It could be that the things that need to be discussed, like this person, the other party, is not giving space to do that. And so maybe you don't feel like there's a place where you can, like, ignite things or have a conversation, right? All right, let's see. Understanding. So there's a lot of love here in this. Maybe you know this person just needs their space and they'll come out of it, you know? Okay. Adventure, explore. You guys are willing to go into this unknown space together and explore and see what's there for you. There's intimacy in this relationship. So you both see into each other. And I think that you are in local proximity, or your community matters to you. Community actually is part of this relationship. You know, you had your family members, and maybe it's friends too. Then we've got what needs to be said. Can you read my mind? Oh, it's completely possible, right? It's like if you guys do see into each other so deeply, maybe it does feel like you read each other's minds, or maybe you do. And I recommend, if you don't know for sure, that you can certainly experiment with that. And you are here on Earth at this time, having an Earth experience. Oh, wow. And it's a healing experience, and it's written in the stars for this to happen, this whole relationship dynamic, and what you're learning from it, and where you're venturing into next. Oh yeah, you guys came in with some karmic patterns to heal, and you are clearing them. Absolutely. Selene is the white moon goddess, and she clears karma. So you're both seeing things from an opposite view than you already had through this relationship. There's something here where something you want, you might not, okay, so there's something you may desire in this relationship, and you don't know the risk of having it. Maybe it's to have like a threesome or something. I don't know why that came, but like if that was the method of spicing things up, maybe it's like you don't know the risk of it. If it's not that, like maybe just it gives you that as an example so you understand what this means. It's like, okay, so there's some tension, and it, 3 to 4 years and 180 days, that's 6 months. And we got human family. The tension could be with the family. There is something where you're getting to see different views. Like you wouldn't have seen it from this perspective if you didn't have this person to understand. And once you understand this person, you can see it from a whole different way. And this is allowing you to create balance in how you think of things. It's like once you understand how they think of it, then you can kind of see, but both things are true. And that balances the energy. And then you can go back to celebrating. So the tension is there for the purpose of prompting the understanding, right? It's like because this kind, gentle learning process that's going on with you two. And I think it's held together by some real passion for each other. Okay. Look, the card you chose is like, this is someone crossing a road. Like maybe this is like a crosswalk or something painted here, right? It's like, it's taking steps though. There's going to be a question you can ask. We'll find the answer in a moment. Oh, you know what? I didn't get fair relating cards. Okay. So from the Starseed Oracle, though, we got this. Yeah, balance between dark and light. This view that you get from being in this relationship, you get the codes that this person has, and they get your codes. Like it's a meant-to-be relationship written in the stars that you had to come together with this person and exchange codes. It was always going to be the plan. And this passion that's burning, like this person, of course, seems to be in a rest time, introspecting and things like that. But there will be some action that's going to be taken as a result that's going to make this change that you're working towards. Okay? So, if you have that question in mind, you'll want to ask it. We're going to reveal the answer in a moment. I'm just getting some cards from the Fair Relating deck. We got a bunch that came out, so let's first do this answer. Make a commitment. So you'll have to apply that to the question that you ask and see how it's applicable. It's asking you to make a commitment. So whatever it's like, maybe the answer is that whatever you decide and commit to is what it will be. It's like, be open to receive. Okay, so you both have masculine and feminine energy here. You both have both. And in order to take the steps that's going to propel you on this journey that you're on, you'll want to take the information that you're getting from your highest self. And the way that you'll receive that is by your feminine energy. And your feminine energy is the receptive energy. It receives. It's nurturing, it's loving, it's the energy that you use to take care of children. Right? It's so, be open to receiving so you can receive your divine guidance. And also that's going to help this relationship, because if you're in the masculine energy and this person needs to take the action, and I think it is them that needs to take some action next, it'll help them tremendously if you're in your feminine energy so they can take action, because the masculine energy takes the action. Creative solution. Create a new solution. So whatever, tensions there are existing, and whether it's between you and the family or within your family, there's a creative solution for it. And that is going to be inspired by your open, receptive, feminine energy, getting the message or the idea or the information or the inspiration. Forgiveness formula. So if there's something that needs forgiveness, which it could be forgiving yourself or each other or a family member, whatever it is, accept how you feel first. Be with your feelings, then accept how they feel. So you always have to first honor yourself, and then you can honor the other. Be still and listen. Okay? So when you're in this receptive mode, you also want to be still enough to hear, so you're going to want to listen to your guidance. Honor yourself, honor them. So we talked about that as the forgiveness formula basically, but this is also just in general. It's like wherever you're at, it's okay, it's good, it's honorable. It's like, this is your path. Wherever they're at, it's good, it's honorable, it's their path. Honor that for them. Honor this for you. What insecurity, doubt, or fear has been brought to your attention through the experience? So anything that's come up in this situation, in this relating dynamic, has shown you something that's in you that needs your attention, and you'll just need to acknowledge, validate, accept, and love it. Discern. Is understanding the goal in this experience? So you did have understanding in your relationship dynamic. So just make sure that that's following through for all experiences, because there could be something in you that is like, you normally are understanding of this person, but in something certain that's programmed in you, you don't look to understand them. You look to defend yourself or justify or whatever it is. That's what you want to look at in yourself, is understanding the goal in this experience. And wherever it isn't, that's when you have something to look at in yourself, because you don't have anything to prove in this relationship with this person that is here to just show you these things within yourself by being a mirror and a reflection. Be brave. Yeah, you got this. This is what you came to do. This was part of the plan. And you can do it. And it's hard to be stepping into this unknown space and you don't know what will be. But you have your own back, you know. Just keep loving, trusting, you know, being open, and also being brave enough to do that. And sometimes being brave, you know, sometimes you have to work up to it. And one time I looked up how to have courage and the suggestion that I read was like, make yourself a security net. And I really liked that. And even though courage and bravery aren't quite the same thing, you know, along the same lines, there could be some ways that you can secure yourself in some ways so that you can be brave in these other ways, you know? Okay. Well, pick 2, that's very interesting. It sounds very exciting, like you're coming into this new kind of space, and it sounds like you have a great opportunity to be reflecting and working with somebody through this process. So I hope that is helpful for you. Only take what is helpful, only take this as a reflection, something to consider, and perhaps we'll see you in another reading. Bye now. Hi, pick 3. So I'm going to just pause you while I deal out the cards, and we'll be right back to look at them. Okay, pick 3. First, we're going to look at who are you in this relationship, and if it sounds like I'm actually describing the other person, you can just reverse them. I'm facing the cards to you this time, and I'm also not doing reversals. So, here we go. Ace of Wands. You are someone in touch with your intuition. Third eye is open. A manifester, able to create here on Earth. Yeah, definitely in touch with the fact that you're a creator, creating your experience here. Keeping things balanced, keeping things balanced and knowing that there is a divine order to things. Trusting in your higher power. A romantic at heart, like someone who will wear their heart on their sleeve. A gift giver, someone who's generous, someone who's expressive with their love. Maybe keeping love on a certain level, though. Maybe there's a reason that you're not feeling filled up or something. Very intuitive. divinely guided, perhaps psychic, might be a reader. Working towards something, working towards your goals, taking the steps needed, like maybe like establishing a savings of money, a creator though here on earth. Yeah, there's something more like new and young about the love that you are carrying. Maybe your heart is just opening back up. And you're opening yourself to connection, considering reaching out, considering taking an offer of somebody's love towards you, thinking about it a lot, thinking about the one that got away sometimes. Oh. But I think you may be in a relationship. Balanced, open, and loving. So maybe you just keep things light and fresh within your established relationship, a bond, a union that you're in. It's like you're willing to be childlike within it. You're willing to be the romantic. You're willing to keep freshness in it. You are very balanced with your family life, your work life. I think that you are a very strong person. You may enjoy shopping. You may enjoy nature. Yeah, a lot of good balance here. For you, let's see what the other party's like here. Oh wow, you both got the Lovers. So very balanced and in harmony, and then perhaps in a relationship with you. They may feel like they have been victimized in some way. We've got the Eight of Swords here, so they may have some negative thoughts or like been restricting themselves in some way. Like just feeling bad or guilty or something. Remorse, regret. They have the Two of Swords, so there could be some like avoidance of an issue, like this emotion that's kind of there weighing on them. They may be trying to avoid it. And they may not know how to proceed with it. Maybe focused on work to avoid it. But really feeling the lack, feeling just like that lack mentality, that poverty, or maybe thinking about a loss or a loss that will be incurred. A lot of worry with this person. This person is worried. Okay, let's see. They are really focused on material life, and they're not willing to go into those deeper emotions. Like they're keeping things on a surfacey level. Like it matters to them to do like fine dining and shiny things and glitter, and may indulge in sensuality as a form of connecting, but it's really not in a place of depth. But you are in a union with this person, and they do have the ability to be balanced between their masculine and feminine energy. It's just that because they have all this worry beneath the surface, they seem to be keeping things surfacey. They're responsible, paying their bills, taking care of the home. They may have very good practical ideas. Yeah, it's your soulmate. This is someone you are in partnership. If you are on a twin flame journey, or are aware of the twin flame partnerships, this could be one. So you may be exchanging codes with each other. Interesting. Okay. So, you know, if you have a twin flame situation, there's going to be some karmic stuff to work out between you. So let's take a look at what needs to be said. I'm sorry, clean up, and I'm busy. Okay. So I'm pretty sure this person's busy. I don't know who yet needs to be sorry, but and clean up is like clean up the difficulties between you, because that's the karma. That's why it's there. So let's get into it a little bit deeper here. The songs. Okay, Am I Wrong? This is the song about wanting something greater than just what's on the surface, than just what everybody else is doing. This would be like your song. It's like, am I wrong for wanting to go for what I feel and know in my heart, you know? And then happier is like, I hope you're happier without me. So there may have been a separation in this. Or there may have been a separation at some point, where someone hoped the other one was happier without them. But in this song, this person's not happy at all that the other person's moved on with somebody else. Okay, let's see. Let's look at... Oh, look, we got these cherry blossoms here. This may be an LGBTQ plus relationship. Protection. This is a protected relationship. It's like, this has to happen. Giving gifts. Okay, so you're giving the gifts of these codes and these understandings, but also there may be gifts. This person might be a gift giver, right? Because that's their depth at this point. A new routine. So something has changed recently, and now something new is happening. And maybe because you have house guests, or some new responsibilities have taken precedence. Okay. Let's look from here. This is written in the stars. If you look at your birth chart, you may actually be assisted to work through some of the things that are going on, because they'll be highlighted in there. These are things like that have been going on for a while, so I think whatever is happening right now is working on really solidified feelings within you guys. Like, so this person may have been ignoring this kind of turmoil that's under the surface for a long time. Unrequited love, Clytia, or blind desire. Okay. Someone could have let their blind desire lead them out of this relationship. Or there could be, like, unrequited love because this person is just staying on the surface. Okay, so I had to actually personally deal with unrequited love in my twin flame dynamics, so I know that it is something that needed to be cleaned up on earth, right? Unrequited love. It's like, of course, some people have to come clean it up. So the way you know to clean it up is you experience it. It's like, well, I'm still a human being. I still have a life to live. You know, I'm going to have to move on with this experience of unrequited love, which I'm able to move on from. And so that might be something that's being cleaned up here. It seems like there definitely was a relationship, and maybe even like on a higher level there is still, you know, some sort of bond, and maybe that's gonna stay until it's all cleaned up between you. Interesting. Let's see. Aquarius is here. Deception and swindle. Wow, yeah, someone lied to someone. Maybe they lied about the depth of their feelings. Maybe they led you on. That would have been very difficult for you as someone who's the High Priestess with your third eye open. I can relate to this pile in so many ways. Okay, let's see. Let's see what the Starseed Oracle says about this. I am going to ask a question. You can ask a question in a bit. I'll reveal that answer afterwards. Okay. There's a path that you're following here, and you know, there's something new on the horizon. There's something that you're headed towards. There's oh, this is a sunset. This is a sunset. A chapter is closing. Okay. This king has a sword. If this person's not going to go into their emotions, right? They may be very cutting. They may be very logical. There's a mission. I just got chills all over my face. Alright. I mean, personally, I thought I was done with my whole twin flame thing. But I will have to look at this later. Let's see how fair relating can be applied to this relationship. Well, first let's look at the answer. Whatever your question was, here's the answer. Change to the story. Okay. Alright, so something happened in this dynamic which was very difficult, it seems like. I mean, someone got lied to, someone who could know that they were being lied to. I think that you were the one being lied to. That's why this... Because you wouldn't lie, because you've got all this, like, purity of childlike innocence and knowing and like, High Priestess and intuition and third eye, being open, family-oriented. I mean, no, this person was the one who deceived. Okay, and this has got to be really difficult. And so now the story needs to be changed, because if you've cleared up this karma between you, right, you've dealt with what happened, you've dealt with your emotions about it, you've dealt with, you know, maybe they haven't, but you have, or you can deal with the emotional baggage that comes along with this. Get to the point where you hope they're happier, whatever they're doing, right? And that you are free to pursue what you know is right. Because you do know, you are connected, you are listening, right? So it's just like a matter of cleaning up anything that is left over between the pain that was caused, like, and then doing that by telling a new story. Like, change the story for yourself. Like, if they just showed me this. Okay, if you're telling the story that this person messed up and they just failed and they're never going to make it right, then maybe you can change that story to, it just wasn't meant to work out. You know, that this is two people who loved each other who couldn't work it out. Like, that's just what it is. Or that one person was not able to open their heart and be in that loving space, and this person knew that they deserved more. Like, that can be the story, right? Like, what changed the story is the answer to your question. So depending on what you asked, you'll have to see how that fits for you. Maybe the story is that you're telling yourself is that it's going to come back together. Maybe that's the story you need to change, because this is unrequited love. There was deception, and what you deserve is to be self-loving. Is it self-loving to put yourself in a situation where you are not being met where you're at, and where you have not, like, yes, what needs to be said is an apology, but is this person going to apologize? Like, you can't wait for it, so change the story. It's like you move on without an apology. The story can't be that it's gonna be happily ever after, even though I believe that there was something here that could have indicated that. Even a devotion by both people. But it was surfacey on this person's part. It was just surface. It was just for looks or something. It was just for maybe a love bomb. It was just to hook you in. Yeah. They're not really, like, attentive to this whole whatever it is, and they don't have the benefit of knowing, like, what you know. But that's part of this. That's not wrong, right? They're clouded by all their pain, their regret, their inner critic. Like, they have not learned to love themselves and know themselves fully. Okay? Yeah. So they gave you a gift of learning how to love yourself. They gave you a gift of showing you everything in you that was susceptible to settling for less than your worth. They gave you the gift of showing you where you could clear up karmic patterns that no longer served you. Okay? Okay. How can you apply fair relating to this relationship? I'm excited to see this, because, yeah. You are a sovereign being, fully capable and responsible for yourself. Yeah, maybe there was some sense of security being in that, or thinking that that was going to be it, because this person obviously can make some money and stuff. But you can make money too. You've got your thing, you've got your business, and maybe it's just a new baby business, but it's totally has all the potential for flourishing and taking you where you want to go. You're willing to be open-hearted and go out there again. So you are a sovereign being. You got this. Fill up your own cup, give yourself what you need or want, and give only from the overflow. I think you've learned that from this situation, right? Because if you were always giving, wanting to get back from this, and you never got anything back, you would have grown resentful. And so that would have taught you, and you would have had to look within and see what was going on, and you would have known that you gave something that you should have been giving to yourself first. Self-love, okay? So that's, I think, something that you learned from this. Let it go. Accept how you feel in the surrender. So as you tell the story of this is over and this is not meant to come back together, that you got what you were meant to get out of this situation, you know, how does that make you feel? And then love yourself through those feelings. Accept that that's how you feel. Validate why you feel that way. Understand why you feel that way. And then love the part of you that feels that. Do you love the experiences you have with them? Is it self-loving to continue them? Yeah, like, do you like it? Like, I can tell you, if I look back on the relationship that I was in, no, it was not self-loving for me to be in that. I was always longing. I was always like, when is it gonna happen? Like, when is he gonna, you know, like, have a freaking conversation with me that has any depth? Like, when is he gonna reveal who he is? When is he gonna have an opinion that matters about something? When is he gonna not be small talk gossip about all his friends behind their backs? When is he gonna, like, get into the, you know, when is he gonna reveal what he thinks about life and dreams and goals? And you know, but it was never going to be that. Like, so I was, instead of realizing that I wasn't enjoying the experiences with him, I was always like resisting what was and just like trying to figure out when it was going to happen different or what I could do better, you know, what I had to like heal in me to like elicit that from him. And that was mostly because I had looked into a lot of the twin flame teachers out there at the time, and a lot of them were saying like, yeah, you just heal yourself and then they come toward you. And it's like, oh, okay, I can do that. Which was great at the time because it did propel me as a codependent person to heal myself. But what it did result in is a great disappointment for me at the end when I realized, oh, that's not necessarily how it works, because that's not what this twin flame relationship was about. It's not the purpose of it at all. The purpose of it was exactly what it happened, that it propelled me to heal myself, and that's it. That's the gift I got from it. That's the beautiful thing at the end, is that I know myself, I love myself, and that I only allow experiences to continue in my life when I love having them. Now, you know, that's what I've learned. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing, that this man, whom I do love and whom I do care for and hope finds his way to the freedom that I have for himself. Not, I don't need him to do that for me anymore. I don't need him to show up in any other way than he is. That's who he is. I get it now. I didn't get that for all the time I was with him, so I was not enjoying the experiences with him. I might have a lot better had I been in this view, where I could just allow him to be who he is, but then I also don't think that I would have stayed in that relationship for any length of time, because I would have realized I was never going to get what I give reciprocated, and I want it reciprocated. I'm open to it being reciprocated. Okay, so I just went on a personal tangent there, but I guess I needed to work through some things within myself too. Play together. So it is saying like that, like children observe each other, right? And it's like, so instead of like not enjoying these experiences you have together, just go in without expectations, with innocence, and in the observation mode with curiosity. That's how you play together. And now you're not having expectations of this person, and I have a feeling that the reason why I shared that experience is because that's the case here too. Is like, it would be hard not to have expectations when you know you're in a twin flame dynamic, and if you've read all the stuff that's out there and been coached in such a way that you think that it's going to turn out one way and it doesn't. It's like, okay, well, actually you can approach it from this other place, which is just letting them be who they are so you can see who they are, and then like, then you know, like, how are you going to enjoy the experience? You just be in a playful space. If this person's not abusive towards you and things like that, and my person actually, if I had been in a playful space, I would have seen things for what they were. I may not have stayed, you know, so many years in the hoping, wishing, wanting state, and I would have just like seen him. And been able to enjoy the times that we did have together for what they were, instead of always wishing it was more. So play together, because there may still be codes for you to exchange going forward, even if this person isn't dealing with their own stuff on a deep level. The answer is within. What would love do? What is in your best interest? And it says your name, insert your name. So if I was reading this, I would say, what is in Julie's best interest? And the reason we do that is because being more objective when we ask ourselves that question helps us to answer it. Right? If I just say, what is in my best interest, I might gloss over some things, but if I put it in an objective manner, what is in Julie's best interest? Right? So what is in Julie's best interest? What would love do? Love would let this person go with love. Love would say, this is who this person is. They have some things they're learning. You know, I'm learning at a different pace, in a different way. They don't want to share that with me. They're, you know, they're not willing to meet me in a place where I'm at sometimes, but if I play, you know, maybe I can get through that. What would love do? Love might play. Love might just respect them as a person and understand that they're not where you're at. Celebrate how far you have come. Oh, beautiful, yeah. You know, you have come a long way. You've learned so much. You've figured things out. You've cleaned up. You've learned to love yourself and know yourself, and you're willing to open back up. So beautiful. And oh wow, this one's a little harsh. It says you no longer fit their expectation. You grew apart. Okay, so sometimes we grow together and sometimes we grow apart. So if you do encounter this person again, it's just like being in that playful space of like, this is life and here's a person, you know, somebody that I used to know, or somebody that I used to want to know, or somebody that I can't quite know the way I want to, you know, something like that. It's like this person deals on a shallow level, so if you stopped dealing on that with them on that level, that means that's why you grew apart. It's just life. It's just like perhaps what this story was meant to be. And I don't think you are wrong for wanting to move on to this life that you know is there for you, now that you know yourself, now that you know what you want, now that you know you're a sovereign being, fully capable and responsible for yourself, and that this was unrequited love. Yeah. Wow, victory. Beautiful. So I do feel like you're okay to hear all this stuff, and that this might just be confirmation for you, because I think, you know, you're very well aware, and it is sometimes nice to see an outside perspective. So really beautiful reading. Thank you for participating. Remember, it's just some things to reflect on, so if it's not helpful for you, then don't take it. Only take what's helpful. Perhaps we'll see you in another reading. Bye now.